I'm very critical of international law, partly because large nations can simply ignore international law whenever it suits them, with no consequences. This case is one of the best examples. The South China Sea is one of the world's most important sea lanes, connecting Hong Kong to the rest of the world. It also has oil resources and fish. It's surrounded by China, Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia. Of these nations, China has just about the least amount of coastline on the South China Sea. An international convention called the United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea sets out maritime boundaries for nations. So those rules establish how the nations on the South China Sea should divide up those territorial waters. China, however, in 1948 proclaimed a so-called 9-dash line which claims that virtually all of the South China Sea belongs to China. This claim is ridiculous, even by Chinese standards. And so China began to develop rocks and shoals and features to turn them into artificial islands, even though those features belonged to other countries. China then claims territorial waters around those features and excludes fishing from other countries. It is simply the policy of a bullying nation with no regard for international law and no respect for its neighbours. The Philippines commenced an international arbitration objecting to China's conduct. China refused to even participate in the arbitration. How weak is international law if it can't even bring countries to the table? The arbitration went ahead anyway and found that the 9-dash line is just nonsense. The arbitral award said China's claim to historic rights to living and non-living resources within the 9-dash line is incompatible with the convention to the extent that it exceeds the limits of China's maritime zones as provided for by the convention. This is apparent in the text of the convention, which comprehensively addresses the rights of other states within the areas of the exclusive economic zone and the continental shelf, and leaves no space for an assertion of historic rights. The tribunal went on to find that China's development of rocks and shoals created no rights, and their bullying behaviour in waters belonging to other nations was unacceptable. Predictably, China has ignored this ruling and continues to act like a bully, making illegitimate claims to the waters of its neighbours. International law seems quite unable to help them.